In this video, we'll be looking at 4 different trig functions, and we're going to be arranging them in decreasing order. So the first function is tangent to the tangent power. Then we have tangent to the cotangent power, cotangent to the tangent power, and then cotangent to the cotangent power. And then here we have theta is between 0 and 45 degrees. So the first thing we should do is look at tangent and cotangent in that interval. So let's graph both of these. Okay, so tangent, we're going to look at the first period, which is between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. And we know that 45 degrees is pi over 4. So that's going to be over here. And pi over 4 is 1. So tangent is between 1 and 0. Cotangent, on the other hand, the period is from 0, and then the next period ends at pi. The midpoint here is pi over 2. Actually, it should be the other way around. So cotangent is a decreasing function in each of its periods. So something like this. And then halfway is pi over 4, which again happens to be 1. So we're looking at between 0 and pi over 4. So we're really looking at this range right here. So the smallest cotangent is 1, and then the biggest it could be is infinity. So it goes all the way up to infinity. So using these two inequalities, we clearly see that tangent is less than 1 is less than cotangent. Okay. So that's helpful. Now the other thing we need is talk about exponentials, because here we have the base being a trig function and the exponent being a trig function. So let's talk a little bit about that. So let's say if I have y equals a to the x, if a is less than 1, then the function is decreasing. And if a is greater than 1, it's increasing. So in our example, if we look at t1, and t3, so they have the same exponent, but notice the base is different. We said that cotangent was bigger than tangent. So obviously t3 is bigger than t1. All right, now let's look at the other ones. So we have t3 bigger than t1. Let's look at what the biggest one is. Well, obviously, I want the biggest base and the biggest exponent. So from tangent and cotangent, the biggest value would be cotangent. So cotangent raised to cotangent power is the biggest one. Okay. Alright, so T4 is done. T3 is done. Now T2 and T1 is what we need to do next. So they both have tangent as the base, but one has tangent as the exponent, the other one has cotangent as the exponent. So to convince you on this, let's say if I have, so tangent is less than 1. So let's say if I have 1/2 raised to the 1/2 power versus 1/2 raised to the 1/4 power. So this is the square root of 2, this is the 4th root of 2. And let's see, if we were to use a calculator, square root of 2 is about 1.14. Sorry, 1.414. 0.414. And the 4th root of 2 is 1.189. So obviously, square root of 2 is bigger. So then we'll say that T1 is bigger than T2. So T2 is the smallest of the 4.